What's up, you guys? It's Blaze. I want to say to whoever finds this video, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, this is the start of something really cool that grows. I'm going to be grinding on this channel and, doing a lot of work on it. So I hope we all get to see the evolution together. Today, I want to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, which is why you should make music about politics and some tips on how to do that. There are a million reasons on why I think you should make music about politics. Let's get into it. So a lot of people in this country are not very politically aware. What this means is that they don't really pay attention to what's going on outside about the issues that affect them. In today's world, you need to be very aware because a lot of stuff is happening, and in order to understand the direction that this country is going in this world, we have to be aware so that we can organize as communities and come together to make the world better for ourselves. So, a lot of people might listen to something like Jimi Hendrix or Bob Dylan from back in the day, and they might not understand that music is very political. This music was the backdrop to a lot of things going on in the 70s, 60s, 70s that the cultural impact of this music had a profound change, especially on the youth and the people who listen to it. And because of that, counterculture movements were able to rise up, and communities organized, and a lot of people were able to make changes happen in legislation and in the world we live in. There are people in other countries right now, not the USA, in other countries, and a lot of European countries and other places, where they are protesting the presidency of the USA right now and Donald Trump's presidency. They are protesting what's happening over here. Meanwhile, we have a lot of people in this country who don't know and don't care about what's going on here right now. Late stage capitalism is in full effect. Rich oligarchs and plutocracies. We're at a turning point in our civilization where it's going to go one of two ways. One, people are going to attain their rights back. They're going to organize, and they're going to get the rights and fight for the rights and the class struggle that we've all been fighting in, whether we know it or not. Or two, it's going to look like 1984, George Orwell. So, in my opinion, it's very important to spread these messages and keep people aware. And, there's a lot of music that isn't political, like, Sexy Red, 21 Savage, Travis Scott. That's just the stuff that, in the hip-hop scene where I'm very familiar with. But, even more than that, Bruno Mars, The Weeknd, Bad Bunny, none of these people are making music about anything with a deep political meaning or a deep, profound societal message. And, that's cool. Like, there's a time and place for that. Right now is not the time and place for that. Right now, we need music that is going to keep us focused. We need music for the revolution, because the revolution is underway, whether we know about it or not already. There are millions of things happening in this world right now that, in the future, they're going to look back and you're either going to be on the right side of history or you're going to be on the wrong side of history. And there's going to be some gray area. But, like I said, there's a time and a place for that music. Cool. Right now, not the time and place for that music. Right now, it's time to get political. If you're an artist with any amount of fan base, it is your job to give them something that can help them in their life. What better way to help them than to get them organized on a communal level? Get everybody on the same page about something. Because right now, our communities are under attack. Our way of living is under attack. And, the change that is going to happen in this world needs to start with us. So if you're an artist, it's your job to make sure that you're making music that helps people. And, there's music that can make people cry, make people happy, can make people laugh, can make people dance. All of that can still be political. Now, when I talk about making music with a message like this, I get a lot of pushback saying, oh, that's not marketable. That's not commercially viable. That's not, you're going to polarize your fan base. And that's true. All that can be true in a way, but also, there's a lot of exceptions to that. And, if you have a good marketing plan and strategy, and if you're making music that's good, then none of that really matters. I think about Kendrick Lamar's Damn album. Black Lives Matter was on the rise, and this album he dropped was a backdrop to that, and a backdrop to the culture of people living in that time, and it became an anthem a widespread anthem for protests. And music like that is more powerful than any other music there is. I think a lot about, the rock music and the folk music that was made during the Vietnam War as a protest. And this folk music and this rock music and the blues, all of it became something that, we look back on today with deep reverence, because it had a profound effect on its listeners. And it has, fans of the music are still around today, and they'll tell you it was the basis and the backdrop for the counterculture movement and the anti-war movement. And if it wasn't for that pushback from the public, then, the United States involvement in Vietnam might have gone on a lot longer. Who knows? Some examples of the hip hop I like to listen to. I'm a hip hop artist, and I believe that the best hip hop to me is going to have deep messages, often political. So I like stuff like Locksmith, Public Enemy, Immortal Technique, Wu-Tang Clan. All of these artists make very political music and politically charged music. And their music isn't just about money and drugs and guns and flexing and whips and foreigns and all of that and watches. It's not about that. They make music about the struggles of their class, the struggles of their people. That kind of music is more powerful than any other type of music. I guarantee it. So let's get into some advice that I have for anyone looking to make music like this or who wants to get into something like this. I've made a lot of music. You guys are going to hear a lot of stuff coming from me in the next few weeks with this type of messaging and this type of movement that I'm starting. And, shout out to everybody who's known about me in the Austin underground scene. Anyways, let's get into some tips about this. So when you're making political music, it's very important that you speak from your own experience. You have a very important perspective, and you have a very unique perspective that a lot of people don't have. No matter who you are, you have a unique perspective that a lot of people don't have. So if they are able to hear your perspective, then it will give them a deeper dive into your life and why you believe what you believe in. And when you make music from your own experience and music from your own heart, it resonates with people a lot more. 2, be well researched. If you're going to say something in a statement that you are presenting as a fact, you need to know it's a fact. There's no excuse for not doing the research. We have tools at our disposal like AI, search engines, and stuff like that makes doing research very easy, and it makes doing research very quick, and it's something that anyone can do. So, I believe that everybody should know how to do independent research no matter who they are. And if you're going to put facts in your music, especially political facts, if you're going to talk about something going on in the Middle East or something religious or something going on a political level, you need to be able to fact check that. You don't have to cite your sources in the song. There's not always time for that. But if you're in an interview or if one of your fans comes and questions you or asks you about it, you need to be able to be well informed enough to make good calls and answer questions about why you put that lyric in the song and what you believe in. So always, if you're going to make political music, be well researched, especially on the topics that you're going to talk about in that song. 3, don't be afraid to share your opinions. Everyone has different opinions. It's not your job to not put your own opinion in your song just because you think people might not like it. At the end of the day, as artists, the first people that we make the music for is ourselves. We're making music that we want to hear. So don't be afraid to put your opinion in it. If you make good music, high quality, with a good message, it's going to resonate with people no matter what. There might be people who don't like it, but there will always be people who do like it, as long as you're putting it in the right space for it to reach that success and reach those achievements. So don't ever be afraid to put your opinions in your music. It's your music. You get to make it. You get to put your opinions in it. Don't forget that. Number 4, most importantly, speak on the subjects that are most pressing to you. If immigration and undocumented citizens being detained and kidnapped is something that speaks to you because that's happening in your community, don't not make music about it. Don't make music about something else if that's the most pressing thing to you. The first song you need to make in a political atmosphere needs to be what's most pressing to you. If the genocide going on in Gaza is something that you think about every day, and it's something that's constantly in your algorithm, and when you try to talk to people about it, they don't listen or they don't care or they don't know, and that's something that you need to share, put that in music. Music is a therapeutic and creative outlet. It is for this. If there is something in your life that's going on in the world that affects you in your everyday life because you can't not think about it, it's time to put that in a song. Putting it in a song will resonate with a larger audience of people in a way that arguing with them or giving your argument almost never will. People can listen to your song and completely change their entire perspective on something. And it's very important that you put what's most important to you in your song, because if you're not rapping about or singing about what's most important to you, then you're not going to be singing or rapping at the highest level possible. So it's very important to put what is most pressing and on your mind in the song. So that is my advice and my opinions on why you should make music with a political message, and some advice on how to do it. I appreciate everyone who's watching. If you don't know, my name is Blaze. I'm a rapper in Austin. You know, we've got a really dope underground scene. Shout out to all of my friends who are going to tune in on this. This is my first foray into the YouTube realm. I watch a lot of YouTube. I consume a lot of content. I figured it was time for me to get a piece of the pie and start doing something productive and creative in a way that I've never done. And I wanted to get out of my comfort zone with this. I'm very out of my comfort zone. I hope it's not too noticeable. Anyways, my name is Blaze. I want to say thank you to everyone who is tuning in. I'm going to be grinding on this channel. Expect more from me. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a good day. Blaze out.